Greetings, everyone. We're about a minute or two from our start time, so we will be getting started up in just a minute or so. So stay tuned. Greetings, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Learning Solutions Conference and Expo event preview and orientation. My name is David Kelly. I am the VP of Program Development at the eLearning Guild, and it's my pleasure to be talking to you for the next 45 minutes to an hour or so, depending on how long we go through, to give you an overview of what's going on at the conference this year and share some tips and tricks on how you can get more out of it, especially if you're a newcomer to the conference. We're going to go over a couple of different things, but it's I want to first off reiterate that we are going to be using the Google Hangouts feature for Q&A. So as any questions that you have as we're going through this, please do submit it through the Q&A or post it as a comment to the event page. I'll check that occasionally throughout the hour as well. But it's an informal hour or however long it takes. If it takes less than that, that's fine too. To just go over and give you a preview of the event and help you get more out of it. So please do feel free to use the Q&A features. I'll check it throughout the conversation that we're having here and answer any questions that you might have. So just to give you an idea of what we're going to be looking at here, first off, go into our PowerPoint here. The Learning Solutions Conference and Expo is an event that's brought to you by the eLearning Guild. If you're not familiar with the eLearning Guild, is one of the largest professional development organizations for people who are using technology to build learning programs within organizations and in academic environments. We do a number of conferences throughout the year. Besides Learning Solutions, we do DevLearn in September, October. We do the mLearnCon Conference and Expo and Performance Support Symposium in June. And we do Learning Solutions and Ecosystem 2015 in Orlando later on this month, which is what we're here to talk about today, the Learning Solutions Conference and Expo. But we do a lot more than the conferences. If you want to learn more about what we do, visit our website, elearningguild.com. So our agenda for today is very informal. I have some things that I plan to discuss, but I am more than willing to go off on any tangents that people might put through the Q&A. But I want to talk a little bit about the event, give you some tips and tricks on stuff that you can use, that you can do to get more out of the event. I want to talk about, share some tips with you on how to navigate the facility that we're going to be going through. I want to talk about the conference app and show you some of the details on how to use that, because it is an excellent resource for how to get more out of the conference. And just generally answer any questions and comments people may have as we go through the time that we have together today. So let's talk a little bit about the conference itself. The Learning Solutions Conference and Expo this year is diving into the convergence of technology and training. And everything that we're going to be doing at the conference this year is talking about that. So I wanted to just spend a minute or so just talking about that theme and what it is that we're talking about when we talk about the convergence of technology and training. We have a history of taking what we've done traditionally in training and putting it into whatever technologies come to us. And we take the old methodology and put it into this new paradigm where there's these new technologies that we're doing it. And the idea that technology is something new is going away. Technology is just part of everyday life on our consumer side and in our everyday life, and it needs to be that way and in the ways we train and educate people using technology as well. So that's what we're exploring. We're looking at how the melding of technology and training, it's not technology-enabled education, it's just education and training that we're doing, and technology is part of the equation. And we're going to be exploring the different solutions in Orlando that are going into that area. And our keynotes and our featured sessions and a lot of our workshops are all exploring that idea that technology and training are no longer two separate things, they are one and the same. And what does that mean when we converge these two together? And everything that we're going to be talking about is going to be exploring that in Orlando this year. So let's talk about some of the specific things that you can expect at the conference this year. First off, we've got 3 great keynotes forming the tent poles around the conference this year. We have Tom Wujek, who's going to be opening up the conference, exploring the return on imagination, talking about how imagination and innovation needs to be a part of what we do in an organization to help people learn and do their jobs better, and strategies on how we can do that. On day 2, we have Michael Furtick, who's going to be talking about how technology is changing the future of learning in the workplace and how it's shaping the actual future of work itself, and how learning and development programs need to adapt to the changes that are going on within the workplace. And to close out the conference, we have Juliette Lemontagne, who's going to be exploring design thinking. She does some work with a project called Project Breaker in New York, doing wonderful stuff with design thinking and really making it a part of educational programs. So we'll hear that story and see design thinking in action. It's a great topic that we've been exploring within our industry. We've got some great examples to share as part of our closing keynote. So we've got some wonderful keynotes forming the tent poles around which the entire conference is going to be taking place. Tom Wujek is actually going to be spending all 3 days of the conference with us. After he does his keynotes, he's going to be visiting sessions, and he's going to be going to different sessions and talking to different people, and he'll be sketchnoting his entire experience, getting an idea of what the overall themes are and what people are talking about and where the important things are, and he'll be sketchnoting that entire journey. And before our closing keynote on Friday, he's going to share those sketch notes with us, talk about what he saw, what he learned, and those sketch notes will be available to us as a resource to learn from after the conference ends. So he'll give us a snapshot of it during the closing keynote, and we'll have that available to us as a resource going forward. In addition to the keynotes, we have 3 featured panel discussions that are going to be taking place on the opening day. Three panels that are going to be exploring some very important topics within our industry. First one is the power of community in the new social workplace. We've got Jane Bozarth, J.D. Dillon, Mark Britz, and Julian Stodd, who are going to be talking about how to form communities and how to support a community within a workplace to get that social component working, to support what it means actually to have that social component in place, and the benefits and how it can really be supported within the work that we do within our workplaces. The second one has Frank Gwynn, Gary Wise, Scott McCormick, and Adam Weisblatt, and they're going to be exploring the importance of adding performance support to the mix. The conversation around performance support sometimes centers around performance support instead of training, or performance support to replace training. And in some cases it might, but it's more along the lines of just adding it to the mix of the strategies that we're using and where it works and where it works better than strategies we might be using now. So talking about the importance of adding performance support in the mix is going to be another one of our panel discussions. And the last panel discussion with Jennifer Hoffman, Megan Torrance, Mark Lassoff, and myself is going to be exploring the gender gap within the industry and within the technology industry in general, and the challenges that are associated with not having equal amounts of diversity within our workforce, and what we can do to change the working environment to make sure that we're getting equal representation on both sides of the gender equation. So 3 very provocative and important discussions that are going to be taking place as part of our featured sessions at the Learning Solutions Conference and Expo. In total, there are over 150 different learning opportunities that are going to be taking place over the course of the time that we're in Orlando. We've got a number of great concurrent sessions. We've got a lot of tremendous workshops that are going to be taking place. There is a huge amount of content available and a huge amount of learning that's going to be shared while we're there. And one of the tips I want to give you that's really important is to make sure that you plan your time in Orlando. You're not going to have the opportunity to sit through all 150 sessions that are there. So you want to make sure you take the time to look at the agenda ahead of time, decide what your priorities are, and set your agenda so that you make sure that you're getting what you need out of this conference. The information is going to be available to you in a program guide. It's already available to you in a conference app, so you can review the different sessions that are there. It's all available online on our website. Take the time to look at what's going on there and choose the sessions that are right for you. And more importantly, choose more than one session. One of the tips I always give people who are new to a conference is to always have a backup. Don't just choose one particular session for every block. Choose two, because if your primary one, for whatever reason, is not working out, it could be that it fills up, and that does happen. You want to get to some session soon. If it's popular, it could fill up and the room gets closed out. You want to make sure you have something planned if that's the case. It could also be that you're sitting in the room and 10 minutes into it, you're realizing that this is not what you expected it to be. For whatever reason, it's not giving you the value that you were expecting when you walked in. Your time is valuable. That you want to have that backup to say, you know what, this is not working for me, and just quietly step out and go to the other session. So make sure you have that plan in place. It's going to help you get more out of the conference, because there's a tremendous amount of value being shared there, and you want to maximize it while you're in Orlando. Speaking specifically of some of the sessions that are available at the conference, we mentioned there's over 150. And we have two specific focus areas that we're going to be exploring new this year in Orlando. The first is technology in the classroom. It's a series of sessions peppered throughout the schedule that are exploring the classroom environment. Generally, the conversation we have around technology is around e-learning and online learning. But technology is embedded into classroom environments as well. So we've placed a focus on some specific sessions that are exploring how we can enhance the classroom environment through technology as well. And we've also got another focus that we're looking at called Align Ed, which is looking at the differences and the gaps between the academic and higher ed environments and what goes on in corporate training. And we've set up a focus with a number of sessions that are exploring these two, the differences and the similarities that exist between the academic and corporate environments, and how we can better get alignment between the two, so that people who are coming from the academic environment into a corporate environment are having more of a seamless integration there. So two great new focuses, two great new conversations that we're excited to be bringing into the conference this year. We also have a number of hands-on BYOL learning sessions. These are called Bring Your Own Laptop, or BYOL, and what these sessions enable you to do is actually bring your laptop into the session with the software that's going to be discussed installed on your laptop, and then you get to follow along with the instructor while they're instructing you to do something, so you get hands-on tactical information that you can use and start implementing and developing those skills while you're still at the conference, rather than just coming back. It's a great opportunity, and I highly recommend you consider adding some of those to your agenda as well. And I see that the question came through about the mobile conference app. Thank you, Chris, for answering it. The mobile, I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. If you go to your app store, Google Play or Google, the Apple iTunes, the Apple iTunes store, just search LSCon, LSCON, and you'll find the app there. And I'm going to show you a URL in just a few minutes. I can get to all the links that you need there. The next piece of content the next piece of the agenda that I want to talk to you about is the morning buzz sessions. These are really popular. These kick off the day. They're early before the first block of sessions that are done. And what these are very informal discussions. You get your coffee, you come sit in a room, and there are a number of topics being explored, and there's no presentations. There's just a facilitated discussion where people share the best practices and ask questions and just share amongst one another in a very casual and informal environment to talk about what it is that we're doing and how we can be doing it better. It's a wonderful, informal way to network with different people and to learn to kickstart each day. And we do those each morning, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday while we're in Orlando. Also want to talk about LS Demo Fest. Demo Fest is always one of the highlights for me at any Guild event, and we have LS Demo Fest coming to Learning Solutions again this year. What Demo Fest is, it's a science fair-like exhibition where people bring their actual e-learning and learning projects to the conference. And we set up tables in a large ballroom where people set out laptops or mobile devices or whatever it happens to be, and you get to see these projects in action. More importantly, you get to talk to the people that developed them, find out what challenges they encountered, what barriers they needed to overcome, why they made the design and development choices that they did. It's a great learning opportunity to see e-learning in action and to find out what it is that people are doing so that you can learn and make your next project better. It's also it's a fun environment where it's very informal. It's a great place to network and connect with other people. It's always, anytime I ask people about the conference and what they like, DemoFest is always high on the list. It's something that's unique to the Learning Solutions and the e-learning guild conferences, and it's always a highlight for people. So you definitely want to make sure you allocate time to spend to visit DemoFest. It takes place Thursday evening. And it's the only thing going on at that time. It's what we close out the day with. Always a highlight of the Learning Solutions event. Another highlight you want to make sure you spend time on is visiting the Expo Hall. We've got a great Expo Hall with dozens of different vendors and service providers who are there to share with you what they do. It's a great opportunity to go and see what's going on in our industry, to talk about to speak to the vendors, find out how their solutions that they have can help you and your organization meet the goals and the goals that you've set for your organization and what you've put forth in your strategy. It's a wonderful opportunity to learn more and see how these things can do. And it's also just a great learning opportunity to see what's going on in the industry, to see how technology is evolving and how it can change the way we look at our practice. So I definitely recommend that you spend some time in the Expo Hall because it is a wonderful learning opportunity. The Expo takes place Wednesday and Thursday. It's open all day on Wednesday from 9:30 a.m. till 6:30 p.m. And it's open on Thursday from 9:30 a.m. till 3 p.m. when it closes. Within the Expo space, there are also 3 learning stages where there are over 30 different additional sessions taking place. We have a learning stage that's exploring training technologies, so you can learn about the different technologies that are changing the way we look at training. We have another stage that is exploring the management level. It's called the Management Exchange, and it's exploring management and strategic discussions as it relates to learning and performance. And then we have another stage that is just exploring different tools that are used to develop e-learning. These are always very popular sessions, and these are located in and around the Expo Hall. I'll show you where exactly in just a few moments when we look at the map for the facility. While you're in the Expo, you want to make sure that you get your passport game card filled out. When you check into the conference and when you get your materials, one of the things you will get is a game card. And you'll notice on the screen here, the game card has a number of different booths listed on the card. As you're visiting the Expo, go to the different booths and they will stamp your card. Once you get all of the cards, all of the different booths stamped, bring that card to the registration desk with your name on it, and it'll be entered into a raffle to win an iPad mini. So make sure you bring that card with you while you're visiting the Expo. A couple of other things I want you to be aware of. On Wednesday evening, we have the 3rd annual game crawl. This is always a popular thing that we've done over the past 2 years that people have really enjoyed. What we do is it's an evening where the number of us bring in a whole bunch of games, and we explore how you can learn through games. We get together in small groups at the lounger area, put the games out, and everyone just plays and explores how you can learn through these different tools. It's an excellent opportunity and a lot of fun to explore how we learn through games. Thursday night, we're also going to be having another edition of Learn Chat Live. If you're not familiar with Learn Chat, it is a Twitter chat that takes place every Thursday evening from 8:30 p.m. till 9:30 p.m. Each week, there's a topic that's going to be explored. I think we're going to be exploring community and conference learning while we're there. But when we have the opportunity at a guild conference it's going to be taking place on a Thursday night, Learn Chat's there anyway. We bring Learn Chat live to the conference. It's a great opportunity to meet the people that you've made friends with and develop relationships on Twitter. We get everyone together at the time that Learn Chat is taking place anyway, so that we can meet each other face to face. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to meet the people that you normally don't see in person online. If you've never participated in a Twitter chat, it's also a great opportunity to learn what it's all about, because there'll be a number of people that participate in the chats all the time that can help you see what the chats are, how they work, how to participate. So it's a great learning opportunity too, especially if you're new to a Twitter chat. We're going to be doing that Thursday night from 8:30 p.m. till 9:30 p.m. If you want to get more out of the conference, especially if you're somebody who's new to the conference, you might want to consider participating in our docent program. We've got 4 wonderful people who are going to be docent guides for us this year. These individuals, Karen Heider, Melissa Chambers, Brenda Enders, and Stevie Rocco, are not just experts in the industry that know the industry really well and are experts in their field, but they are also very experienced in attending conferences. They know how to navigate the conference. They know how to what sessions are better depending on individual needs, and they're going to be served. They're going to be there as coaches to people who are new to the conference, so that they can help you get more out of the conference. And you'll also get a flyer in your materials when you check in that's got a lot of exclusive opportunities that are available through the docent program. Such as lunch. During lunch, you have the opportunity to sit down and have lunch with experts in our different industry experts, where you can pick their brain and have conversations with them informally. We've got specific morning buzz sessions that are dedicated to the docent program, and a lot more details as well that you can find on our website. But the docent program is an excellent resource for people who are new to learning solutions or new to conferences in general, or if you happen to just be coming to the conference alone and you want to connect with other people, the docent program is a great opportunity to do that as well. So consider adding some of the docent activities to your agenda as well. So what I'd like to do next is talk a little bit about I'm just going to check to make sure we have no questions in the chat. Good. So we talked a little bit about the content. I want to talk a little bit about the facility that Learning Solutions is going to be taking place at. It takes place at the Hilton in the downtown Disney area. Everything that's going to be going on at the conference is going to be taking place in this facility. So I want to talk a little bit about the facility itself and how to navigate it. So let me just bring up a map of the facility so you can see that. So the first thing you're going to be doing when you get to the conference is you're going to need to register. You're going to need to go to the registration desk and pick up your materials. So when you go to the conference, let's bring up a laser point here. After you check in and go to your room, you're going to be entering the conference from this area right in here, where it says to the mezzanine. This is a hallway that more than likely you're going to be coming from when you exit your room. The hotel lobby is going to be in this space where the cursor is moving now, and you would enter the conference space from here. So the first place you're going to want to do is walk through this hallway, the international foyer, and come to where it turns right here. You'll see the word small on the screen, registration. That's where the registration desk is going to be. That's going to want to be your first stop. It's where you'll pick up your conference badge, which you need to be wearing during the time that you're at the conference, and any other materials that are available. It's also an opportunity to ask any questions that you might have. There'll always be people there that are willing to help. Our keynotes that are taking place, again, the keynotes are going to be taking place to kick off the conference Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, and to close the conference Friday afternoon. All the keynotes are going to be taking place in the Palm Ballroom, which is down here. And when you're looking at this map, this is the pool area in the center. So to get to the Palm Ballroom, you have to actually leave the conference. You have to leave the main building where the doors are on this side and just walk across the courtyard into the building over here where you're going to get to the Palm Ballroom. You could also access it through the doors on the other end of the building over here. Either way, whichever way you're going to go into this building on this side to get to the Palm Ballroom. And as I've been sitting in the New York area freezing for the last few months, the idea of taking a short walk outside in Orlando, quite appealing to me, right? So that's where you're going to find your keynotes, in the Palm Ballroom. You will also find LS Demo Fest Thursday evening is going to be taking place in the same room. It will also be in the Palm Ballroom Thursday evening. That's where you're going to find LS Demo Fest. The Expo Hall, where you can meet the different vendors and see all the different things that are going on, that's going to be taking place in the Grand Ballroom. So right where I mentioned before, where you have registration, just across the hall from that is the Grand Ballroom, this purple space here. That's where you're going to go for the Expo Hall. It's open all day Wednesday until 3 p.m. On Thursday. It's also where you'll find the different learning stages. The e-learning tool stage is actually in the Expo Hall right here. And the training technologies and management exchange stages are in the foyer just outside of the Expo Hall, the grand foyer right over here. Our featured sessions that are going to be taking place on Wednesday will be in the international ballrooms, which is just in this international foyer here. These three rooms right here. That's where our three featured sessions will be. So it's all centrally located in one spot at the Hilton. Our concurrent sessions are also going to be taking place in these three rooms, the international ballrooms here, but the majority of the featured sessions are actually going to be on the second floor of the hotel. So you'll notice over here, it says to the mezzanine. This hallway that you would come into, there's also a staircase right here that's going to take you to the second floor. And this is what the second floor looks like. That staircase that I just mentioned will take you up over here. I also mentioned that the lobby was above the map we were looking at previously. This open space here is the main lobby, and there are staircases that you can get to the second floor in the main lobby as well. But the majority of the rooms that the concurrent sessions and the morning buzz sessions will be taking place in are going to be on the second floor here. One tip in terms of navigating the space that you should be aware of, all of the rooms here are in alphabetical order. So if you know the name of the room that you're in, you can pretty much find it, the room that the session you're looking for is in, you can pretty much find it just by looking at what room you're in. So if I know that the session I'm going to be in is in the hibiscus room, and I'm in this space over here, I can just see that okay, I've got the K, J, I just need to walk in this direction to get to the H room, the hibiscus room. So it's all alphabetical, starting from the azalea room, going all around past the poinsettia to the quince room. Keep that in mind. And there's also a charging station on the second floor as well as the first to keep your devices charged at all times. The game crawl that I mentioned is going to be taking place on Wednesday evening. The game crawl is actually going to be taking place in JT's Lounge, the bar that's in the hotel, which is just outside of where those steps were we were just looking at. If you walked out back towards the lobby, the lounge is right over here. You can't miss it. It's a wonderful, beautiful lounge there, and we've reserved some space for the game crawl. So keep that in mind. It'll be Wednesday night in JT's Lounge. Thursday night, when we get together for Learn Chat, that will also be together at JT's Lounge in the same spot. So Thursday evening at 8:30, that's what we'll be for Learn Chat Live. When it comes to navigating the conference, in addition, you got a number of great resources that you have available to you. The first that you see on the left-hand side of your screen, it's called the Quick Guide. It's a card stock that you'll have available to you that you'll get with your registration materials. It opens up. It's got a full listing of the entire schedule for the event and a number of important points that you might need. It's also got the map on the back as well. So that's a great one-piece resource that you have available to you that's going to give you all the critical information that you need to get around and navigate the conference. And then, of course, there's the conference app, which is available on any device that you might have. And that's got everything that you could possibly need to plan your time in Orlando. And we're going to take a look at that app in just a few minutes. Let me just take a moment here to check and see if there are any other questions through everything here. Nope, got that okay. All right, so let's take a look at some of the other things that you have, some of the other resources that are available to you that are going to help you get more out of this conference. Go back in here. So first off, as you go from session to session, you'll have presenters and speakers who are sharing a lot of different resources between slide decks and files and handouts and things. All of those will be available to you online, so that you can access them later on after the conference, print them out if you'd like, but they're available to you as an ongoing resource to revisit content that you saw or to possibly check out content from sessions that you missed. That's available to you all the time at learningsolutions15.com/handouts. And that resource will be available ongoing after the conference. The Learning Solutions Conference and Expo and all e-learning guild events have robust back channels. And if you're not familiar with the back channel, it's the conversation that takes place amongst attendees and people who are following the conference from afar on Twitter. People who are tweeting from the conference or tweeting from outside the conference to people who are at the conference use the associated hashtag for the event to consolidate that conversation and to create a space that people can share and learn from one another and to expand upon what they're learning and share what they're learning at the conference. So if you're going to be participating in the back channel or if you just want to follow it, the hashtag that we're using at the event is LSCon. It's not case sensitive. You don't have to put it that way, but the conference hashtag that we'll be using is LSCon. So make sure you're adding that to any tweets that you'll be sending while you're at the conference. In addition, we'll be curating the back channel. At the event, I always curate back channels for all of the e-learning guild events, looking at all the things that people are sharing and curating the resources that are shared as an ongoing resource. Again, so like the handouts page that you can come back, revisit content, see what you missed, see what people shared that expands upon the content that is being shared at the event. A lot of wonderful learning resources are shared through the back channel. It's one of the reasons I've always been passionate about it. It's something that keeps the learning going on well after the formal end to the event. While you're around the facility, there will be free Wi-Fi throughout the entire facility. You do not need to log into the Wi-Fi signal. It's just available. When you look at the different Wi-Fi networks, you'll see one that's called e-learning, and you just say you want to connect to it. You will not be required to enter a password. And it's available throughout the entire conference space. When you get your badge and all of your materials, there will be a number of tickets attached to your badge, and you want to make sure you have those. There'll be lunch tickets for both Wednesday and Thursday that you need to just hand in when you get your lunch. And there'll also be 2 drink tickets, one for the Expo reception that takes place Wednesday evening, and one that you can use during LS Demo Fest on Thursday evening. So make sure you got all 4 of those tickets so that you can use them when you need to redeem them. And then, of course, we talked about the conference app. You do need to log into the app, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. When you first use the app, it's going to ask you to log in. You need to use your email address that you use to register for the conference. I know a number of us have multiple email addresses. The email address that you need to use to log into the app is the email address that you use to register for the conference, and it will ask for your password. The default password for all users is LSCon. That is case sensitive, so make sure you enter it all in lowercase. But I've mentioned the app a number of times, so rather than keep talking about it, let me instead show it to you and show you some of the different things that you can do with the app, because it really is a tremendous resource that's going to help you get more out of the conference, to plan your time in the event, and to connect with others. So let's take a few minutes and look at the conference app and what it can do for us. So let me just bring it up here. Okay, so at this point, you're looking at the conference app. Now, one thing before I demo this, you're looking at this on an iPhone. This is available for Android devices. It's available as in HTML5 if you just wanted to do it as a web browser thing. From a web browser standpoint, it's available for any device you might have. The functionality that I'm going to show you is consistent through all of the apps, however you're accessing it. The screens might look a little different, and the interface might be different depending on the device that you're using, but the functionality is going to be the same. So when you launch, after you've downloaded the app and you launch it, it will, as I mentioned, ask you to log in. So you're going to use the email address that you used to register for the conference. And I have to pause because I can't type and speak at the same time, apparently. And it will ask you for a password. See, that's why I can't do that. Told you I couldn't type and speak at the same time. And you hit the check, and it'll ask for the password. And again, LSCON, all lowercase letters. And hit that check in the upper right. And it brings you in. Now, if you've registered, if you've used the app before, you might get this screen to start where it's asking you which event. It brings up last year's event as well. Just choose the 2015 event. You won't have to. That's only something you have to do once, and including logging in. Unless you choose to log out of the app, you will stay logged in even if you exit the app. Unless you physically choose to log out and do that, you will always be. Anytime you go out of the app, you'll just go right back into it. You won't need to log back in. You will not need to choose the event. So anytime you go into it from this point forward, you're going to get right into this screen. Now, a couple of things. By default, when you get to the app, it's going to bring you into what's called the activity feed. One of the things that's different about our app that we use at our eLearning Guild events is that it has a robust social component. It's got a great feed where you can connect with each other, share what you're learning, and do a number of great things where you can connect with others and share what you're learning and just talk to different people and connect with them during the conference. It's a great tool for networking. And you see as I scroll through here, there's different things that you could do. You could post pictures. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But by default, you're going to get this screen where you have the activity feed that you can scroll through and see what people are sharing. And it's already active with people sharing stuff within the app. So if you haven't already downloaded it, you want to do that soon and start connecting with people through the conference. In the upper left-hand corner, you see the 3 lines often referred to as the hamburger icon. That's going to bring you to the main menu, or you could just swipe right across your device, and it'll bring you to the main menu of the app. I want to just quickly show you some of the different things that are on here. The top thing you see there where it says activity feed, that's the default that I just showed you, where you're actually seeing the different the activity that people have posted. Underneath that is the agenda. This is where you can go to find out anything that's going on at the conference. You can see all the different sessions that are there. You can get details about all the different sessions. If I clicked on any of the different sessions that were available, it'll give me where it is, a description of what it is, and it's got the ability for me, you see at the bottom there it says add to my agenda. So for instance, if I wanted to, at the top of your screen you see agenda, my agenda. If I click on my agenda, you'll see the things that I've added to my agenda. So I can always see what I've added for my particular agenda. So, and it's very simple to do that. If I go into the, if I go into the overall agenda and I find something that I want to do, I can hit the right button. Thank you. So let's say I wanted to go to the morning buzz session for the daily dose and kickoff right in the center of that screen. I can choose it and I get the details of it and I can hit add to my agenda. And I can just as easily remove it from my agenda if I wanted to. If I go back to that screen, you'll see now on the screen here that I have a check there showing that it's on my agenda. So I don't necessarily have to go into the details. If I was looking at something, let's say I wanted to go to the Lingos community meetup and I know I want to do that, I could just choose to do that right there. And anytime I do that, it's just all now in my agenda, where I choose my agenda at the top and everything that I've chosen to go to is in my agenda. I can get the details for things as well. Going back to the main thing, main menu, the next option you see on your list is speakers. You can get details for all the speakers that are going to be presenting at the conference through the app. You can find out who they are, where they work, and all you have to do to see any of their details is just choose them from the list. You'll see their bio, what sessions they're speaking at. So if you saw a session that you liked, you can always find out if that person's doing another session at the conference or any of the details there. And again, that icon that we saw for the agenda, if I wanted to add Ben's morning buzz to my agenda, I can do it right from his speaker profile. So if there's a particular speaker that you know you want to see, you can just go to their profile and add their sessions to the agenda right from the app. You can also get details about different attendees from the app. All the attendees are listed within the app, and you can get some general details about any of the people who are attending the conference. For instance, if you went to my profile in here, you'd see I have my information here of my name, who's following me, what followers. If you wanted to follow someone, so for instance, if I went to someone within the app and I wanted to hear what they were saying and get notifications if that person posted something, I could find their profile within the app. Say I wanted to do Jane Bozat, and then you'll see I have a follow option there. When I follow Jane, that means that anytime she posts something in the app, I'll get a notification saying Jane's posted something into the app, so I can keep in touch with people that way beyond just searching for what they've posted. But you can get all the details about different attendees in there. You could also, if the person has turned it on, private message someone. So for instance, if I go into, I'm going to go back in here, you'll notice at the top of the screen, it's got my name and my photo there. If I choose my photo in the upper left-hand corner, it's going to bring me to my profile. And in the upper right-hand corner, I've got a gear. That's for settings. If I go into settings, I'll get a couple of different options. And if I go into edit profile, this is where I can edit my name, my position, my company if it was in there. It's also where I could add my social feed. So I'm going to add my Twitter profile, which was already through my app. I didn't have to log in. You might have to log in some cases. But in this case, I just went in and added it to my Twitter profile because I was already logged in, and I can save that. I also have the option within settings to turn different things on. So if you have options for, by default, if I take a photo within the app to post, it's going to save it to my device. By default, allow private messages is turned off. So if you wanted to allow people to message you privately, you just have to turn it on. Now, keep in mind one thing with the private messaging. If you turn that on and someone goes to your profile, they'll see an icon there that says send private message. That private message gets sent to you via email. Now, the person who sent you by turning this on, no one can see my email address through the app. But if they message me, it's going to send it to me via email. The only way that someone would be able to see my email address is if I then reply to that email via my regular email. Then they would just see where that email came from. But that's how just be aware that that's how private messaging works. You turn it on, people can send you a message via the app, and that message is delivered via email to you. You also have the option to turn on what notifications you get. If you wanted to get notifications from people you follow, people that are following you, and if you want to get notifications from Bluetooth as well. By default, those are on. If you could turn them off if you feel like you're getting too many notifications from your device. Going back to the main menu, we talked about the four main things: the activity feed, the agenda, speakers, and attendees. I want to go back to the activity feed for just a second, because I want to talk about how you can contribute to it. In the upper right-hand corner, you see the piece of paper icon with a pen on it. You choose that, and it's going to give you the opportunity to do a status update. A couple of things you could do with a status update. You can just start typing and do a text update. So if I went in here and I typed in something like, enjoying the orientation online with lots of friends. And thankfully, I have a device that can fix my horrible typing. So if I put that in there, and if I just hit the check in the upper right-hand corner, that would post it to it. But there are a couple of options I have that I can do here. You see to the left of that text, there's a photo, a camera icon. I could add a photo to this. So it's saying I would like to access your photos. I can either allow it or not, but by default, the camera's already on. And I could take a picture of my screen if I wanted to, whatever it is you want to take a picture of. It now adds that to it. If I didn't like that picture, I could just click that X and get rid of it. Do I want to remove the image? Yes, I do. So I could put that thing in there. You also notice underneath that, I've got a bar there. It says I'm at. That gives you the ability to tag a particular session or exhibitor that you're with. So if I was tweeting from putting a message in there from a particular session, I could find that session from within here and say, I'm putting it from this particular thing, and it'll add that context to the posting that you're going to do. Now, any posting that you do is local to this app. The only people that can see it are people who are in the app and have access to it. The only people who have access to the app are attendees at the conference. You'll notice to the right of where I just tagged this with this particular session information are 3 icons for Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Any posting that I do, I can take that post, and in addition to having it go to the app, I can post it to social media as well. And for someone like myself that is active on Twitter, I do that a lot. So if I wanted to post something that I'm doing also to Twitter, I'm just going to choose the icon and turn it on. If I hadn't already linked this app to Twitter, which I only need to do once, it would prompt me to do so at this point. So for instance, if I wanted to do it to Facebook as well, if I choose that, it's going to tell me that it would like to get authorization to do that. Which because iOS has that, it just did it automatically, but it prompted me to do that. So I'm just going to turn that off because I don't normally do that. And then same thing with LinkedIn. It would just prompt me to log into LinkedIn if I wanted to do that. But once you have that icon selected, when I hit the check, it will post to the app, and it will also post to Twitter. I mentioned if you're contributing to Twitter that the hashtag that we use is hashtag LSCON, LSCON. The app does not automatically add that text based on Twitter's terms of service. It can't do that. It can't auto post with a hashtag. So you have to manually add that in. So if I wanted to make sure that this was contributed to the back channel on Twitter, I would need to type it correctly for starters. I would need to add that hashtag. There we go. I would need to add that hashtag to the post before I hit the check. And once I put the check out there, it posts it to the app, and it also now cross-posted that to Twitter. You'll also notice here that it's given me points. It's giving me points that I've earned for sharing an update and for tagging something. And it's telling me that I've earned 3 points. And it also gives you some badges for different things that you do within the app. Now, those points that you can earn, I want you to be aware of, because when you hit a certain threshold, you can earn a reward for that, which I'll talk about in just a moment. So that's how you post an update. It's a great way to connect with different people. You can go through as you scroll through here, as people post things, you can like a post by hitting the circle icon, or you can comment on a post by hitting the bubble icon there and just start a conversation. So it's a great way to use to connect with people, especially before you come to the event, and to continue the conversation afterwards. When we used this app at DevLearn last year, the app was continued to be used for weeks after the event while people continued the conversations that they started at the conference. So continue to keep this app available to you to continue to use after the conference as well. Going back to the list here, There are additional resources that you have here. The next one you see is exhibitors, where you can get details about any of the exhibitors that you want to check out and learn more about. You just choose them from the list, and you can see the details about them on here, their website. You can also see on any of them, when you're in here, you'll see that there's an option on the right-hand side of them where there's a bookmark. Any of the speakers or exhibitors or sessions that you want to be at that you want to remember later on, you can just add a bookmark to any of those just by clicking on it. Or when you're in one of the sessions, you can scroll down to the bottom and you'll have the option there to add it to the bookmarks as well. And you can, when I go back to the list here, you'll see there's a bookmark option, and anything that you've bookmarked for future reference will be in your bookmarks there for easy reference. Another thing I want you to point out as you're going through the expo, if there's an exhibitor that you want to see, you'll notice that within the app, there's an icon there for view on the map, and it'll show you where on the map that they are. They're in box 202, and you can kind of scroll. I'm using 2 fingers to scroll. You can see where they are contextually within the map. It's a great resource to find who it is you want to visit while you're in the expo hall. Next up on the list, if you want to get information about the many valued sponsors that we have, it's not currently in the app right now, but once within very next few days, you'll see that to get details about the different sponsors that we have in the app. DemoFest, Thursday evening, all the different tables that are going to be available within DemoFest are going to be in the app that you could learn about the different tables there, the different projects that are being shared. When you go to DemoFest, you also have we do voting at DemoFest so that you can choose your favorite projects. And once it's not live in the app now, it won't be live until DemoFest starts. But when you want to vote for a table, if you think that there's a project that you'd like to say, you know, this is great, I want to give this a vote for one of my favorites. When you go to the table from the list, there'll be an option underneath where it says add to bookmarks that says survey, where you're just going to click on that, and that's where you'll be able to say to cast your vote very quickly and give the support to the projects that you think are best in the DemoFest. Underneath that, you've got the photo feed, which basically looks at the activity feed and just pulls up the photos that were shared. The leaderboard. I mentioned that you got the different points that are accumulated for doing different activities within the app. If you want to see where you rank as compared to others, you can see that there. Surveys. Surveys are very important to us. They're the evaluations that give us the feedback on what's working and what we might want to do differently to make each conference better than the last one. So the surveys you see here are the overall surveys for the entire event. They're not in the app as of yet because they're not active until the event starts. But to give us your overall feedback about the entire event, that's where you would go. I also want to show you what the survey looks like for a specific session that you attended. For instance, when I went into the activity feed, you might have noticed that at the very top of my activity feed, it says surveys to complete 1 survey. If you have a session that you've added to your agenda that's taken place, the system, if you haven't evaluated it, the system will remind you, hey, there's an evaluation that you can complete there. We really value it, and we've made the evaluations very simple to do that. So for instance, I want to show you when you go into a session, after the session takes place, you'll see at the bottom of the session, this is just a test session we set up for the purposes of this demo. You'll see it says take survey, and it's just asking you to give your feedback. So I'm going to hit the session survey, start the survey, and it's just a very simple 3-question survey. First question, give us any feedback that you want to share about the speaker and the session. What went well, what you think could have been done differently. Anything that you want to share in terms of feedback, you're just going to type that in. And since this is a demo, I'm just going to say, here is my feedback. And then I'm going to say next question. And then it's just going to ask you simply, how satisfied were you with the session overall? Completely, down to completely dissatisfied. Completely satisfied to completely dissatisfied. And then lastly, how would you rate the speaker's presentation skills and knowledge of the subject? Was it poor up to very good? And that's it. Takes you all of just a couple of minutes to do that. You also notice you get points for filling out the survey. The survey, to get the rewards we're talking about, which I'll mention in just a second, you have to accumulate 100 points. And the object that gets you the most points as quickly as possible is the survey. You get 10 points for completing any survey. We really do appreciate the feedback that you give us about our sessions. I know the speakers do, and I know we do at the Guild. So Any sessions that you do attend, please take a moment and complete the session evaluation for that survey. So going back to that main menu, we've got if you wanted to get details about the map, all the different maps are available in here. Right now we're looking at the Demo Fest map. You got other maps in there as well. And then there's information about the app and things that you could search through as well. So the app, one other thing I forgot to mention, at the very top, you'll see next to my my name there, you'll see a purple 3. Those are your notifications. So anything that is popping up for a notification, these are things that pertain to you. So people following you within the app. If somebody posted and used your name, which you could tag someone when you do a post, you'd see that within the app. So any notifications you have, you can get through there, and they can just clear them to show that it's seen, and it's in there as well. So that's basically the app. It's a tremendous resource that can give you a lot of tremendous value. That's going to add just a great amount of value to the conference experience that you're going to have. I highly recommend you download it early. And when it comes to planning, downloading the app, playing with it, and realizing how to do it, these are all things I highly recommend that you do early. Because especially if you're new to a conference, if this might be your first conference or you haven't been to a conference in a while, one thing I can say is that once the conference starts, it's a sprint over 3 days. It goes very quickly and it's very fast moving. So the idea of pausing to find out how to use the app is going to be challenging for you. You want to download the app now. Just play with it so you're familiar with the interface, so that you don't. It's kind of like riding a bike, so that you can just enjoy the ride rather than concentrating on balancing. Play with the app so that you can get to know how to use it before you get to Orlando. And again, it's going to be active with people using it. It's a great way to connect with people before you get down to Orlando for the event. So the conference app is a tremendous resource. So I'm just going to check over here, make sure there are no questions going on here. And I also just want to check the main page of this event, see if there were any comments placed in there. There's just a couple of minutes left. I just want to see if there are any other comments. Good. All right, so just a few more things in the time that we have left. Here we go. So we talked about the conference app. Again, all these session evaluations are going to be done through the app. We don't do paper evaluations, and we do really appreciate the feedback that you give us. So definitely check that out and fill those evaluations out in the app. I mentioned that you can earn a reward for the different points. As you're doing different activities, posting updates, filling out surveys, you will accumulate points. Once you reach the threshold, you can go take your points over to the registration desk, and you show your app there, show them that you've hit the threshold, and you'll get one of these stylish Learning Solutions 2015 t-shirts. There are a limited supply, so as soon as you get those points, take it over to registration desk and claim your t-shirt reward and enjoy the t-shirt that we've designed for you. So while you're at the conference, if you need any assistance at all, just look for someone in one of these blue shirts that you see here. There'll be a number of us present in Orlando walking around the facility. We're there to help make sure that this experience is successful for you and that you have the best conference experience possible. So if you have any need for any assistance, or if you just want to share some feedback, we'd love to hear that as well. Stop us, get our attention, and we'll be more than happy to help you with anything that you need, because again, we are there to make sure that you have the best possible conference experience. And with that, we have a few minutes left. If there are any additional questions that might not have already been asked, I will look. I see that there is a question from Chad related to cab fare from the airport. That varies. I don't know the amount offhand. But Chad, I see I'll make a note that I see you're on Google+. I will get you that information and send it to you directly, and I will post it as a comment to this thread for anyone who happens to be watching the recording and is interested in the same question. So if there are no additional questions, you can learn anything else that you want via our website. Go to elearningguild.com or learningsolutions15.com to go directly to the conference website. Go to the app. You can post questions in the app. A number of us from the eLearning Guild always monitor the app. So if you have a question, you can ask. We monitor it, and we've got some wonderful attendees who are always very active in the app that are willing to help people out with questions that they have. Anything that you have, we want this to be a successful experience for you. And we're really looking forward to having you in Orlando just about 2 weeks. So any questions that you have, you can always reach out to us online, or we will see you in Orlando in just a few weeks. I see that no other questions. So with that, I will adjourn our Google Hangout. I want to thank you for those who are watching. You can always ping us separately online if you have any questions. Otherwise, we will see you soon in sunny Orlando. Take care, everyone, and thanks for spending time with me for this orientation session.